You guys ever have something bother you, and it bothers you in such a way, even though it's not like the end of the world, that you just can't rest until you fix it? I had one of those things today, and it's right here in my hands. Stick with me, guys. I'll show you what I did. Hi gang, Rob here. It's the evening of 1 January 2015, and yes, this knife was bothering me today. If you watched my first impressions video, you know why. So I made some changes, and I made changes in four areas of the knife that I think are essential to being able to enjoy it and have it perform like it should. First of all, we'll look here. As with many modern folders, had some serious jacked up stuff going on with the plunge grind in the base of the cutting edge, and with this large swale in the spine of the blade, I just thought it really wanted to be gripped this way. So as you've seen me do before on a couple Jason Browse knives and others, I made a forward finger choil, and oh my, yeah, on some knives it's just really something that helps a lot with utility tasks, and this is one of them. So that is accomplished. The second thing I'll show you is the flipper. I showed you in the first impressions video that the corners were sharp, the jimping was ugly, and now if I can flip it, we've got a really comfortable flipper tab. It's a little slippery, it takes a little practice and technique, but knife flips plenty good with a much smoother, more comfortable flipper. You also remember, if you watched the first impressions video, that I had an issue with the lockbar, and this section of lockbar actually was about 3/16 of an inch taller. It made the grip very uncomfortable, and if you had a heavy grip on the knife, the lockbar would move in your hand, and it just was very unsettling, and it wasn't comfortable. There's still plenty of access. I did leave it a little bit elevated, but easy access for the thumb and comfortable access for the thumb. And the combination of those two mods make it so that when you bring the blade against the thumbnail and move the thumb, you're past the detent ball. How cool is that? That is awesome. And the last area, if you remember, this knife, the spine is ground on a pretty severe angle, high on the right side and low on the left, which really made the factory jimping look atrocious. It was almost ineffective jimping anyway. I just took it off. It was kind of hard to do. There's a little run of about 1/2 inch of satin spine, and I had to do my best to match up a crookedly ground spine with a square ground tang. So that little 1/2 inch actually has to make a little bit of a spiral on its way back, and I did about as good as I can. And here's what it looks like closed. Not too shabby, I thought. Nice and clean. No need to have jimping on the spine of that knife. You got such a deep finger groove and a nice place to put your thumb. Not really a ramp, but certainly you know where you are and you're not going anywhere. No need for any jimping on that knife. So now it doesn't have any. Next stop, toad sticker's place. I'm going to wipe my blade. we're going to have Toad Sticker acid stone wash the blade and the handle. Probably leave the hardware alone, but I know it's a pretty good looking satin on the blade, but I just can't stand the logos. They're just not attractive to me. And I think the handle will look a lot better stone washed or acid stone washed. I'm going to kind of leave that up to Rick, which way he wants to go. Actually, I'm kind of surprised. This area of the frame on the lockbar is just sanded to 400 grit, and it's kind of hard to tell looking through the camera that it doesn't match the rest of the frame. But we're going to go ahead and stone wash it anyway, just to make sure that it all matches. And bump my hand, and give it a little character to go with its modifications. Tell me what you think, guys, in the comments, and stay tuned. We're going to call this something like Hi Jinx Modifications 1.0, and then we'll have maybe a 2, a 3, and a 4, or maybe a 5, I don't know. A couple guys are going to have this knife in their possession as it transforms into something better than it was. That's all for tonight, my friends. Grace to you and peace from God our Father and the Lord Jesus Christ. And remember, the Word is sharp.